All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I've got actually one on the dot. So thank you for joining me here. We're just about to get started. So my name is Cesar Rivas. I am the National Sales Executive for Sound Payments, and Sound POS is one of the solutions that I actually represent. Welcome to our monthly workshop. We have this one and then one more to end the year, and I believe we're going to keep going for next year as well. So the purpose of this workshop is to provide our vendors, ISOs, resellers, whatever you may be, with a little bit of insight on the POS. Hopefully, some of the information that I'm providing will be of some use to you as you engage your customers as well. These workshops last just a half hour. Last Wednesday of the month at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And the first 15 minutes is where you're really going to see the new material. The last 15 minutes is kind of my sales pitch. These workshops are recorded and they're posted on YouTube on our channel, Sound Payments. Now, the premise under which we work is to empower you, the reseller, the ISO, really to manage your relationship with your clients, with your merchants, providing you with all the tools, providing you with a, let's say, with a resource that's going to be valuable because of all the features that it provides, but also valuable because of the price point, which is extremely competitive. All right. Today we're going to be talking about a bakery. We've seen multiple types of merchants throughout these workshops. I mean, we've looked at things like food trucks, firework conventions, retailers, auto parts shops, and so forth. So really to highlight how adaptable, how customizable our Sound POS solution can be. All right. In today's case, we're going to be talking a little bit about attributes for Upcharge. Now, an attribute, in case you're not familiar, is a modifier which is unique, meaning that there's only one modifier. So, for example, for a shirt, it could be a size. It's either going to be small, medium, large, extra large, whatever that may be, or a color. And then you can utilize that attribute for multiple things. We've seen in the past, you can utilize the attribute to keep track of inventory in case you have an item that's got multiple sizes but a single barcode. And in today's case, we're also going to show you how you can utilize the attribute for Upcharge. Okay. Today's session, we're also going to talk about selling merchandise by weight, really by unit, and I'll talk a little bit more in depth about that. And then the ability to utilize gift cards, in-house gift cards, as well as vendor-based gift cards. Okay. So let's start off with the ability to use an attribute to Upcharge. We're going to go into the store that we're using, the Fresh Bakery. As you can see, we've got our logo over here. And I'm going to go into the catalog just to show you. There's two Upcharges that I created here through attributes. Actually, let me show you under the attributes first and foremost. So I'm going to be charging if they want to slice a loaf of bread. Okay, we're going to be charging 50 cents for that. And we're also going to be charging in case they want to label, the cake, put somebody's name on there or something like that. We're going to be charging, I think, $1.50 for that. So I wanted to show you first and foremost what that looks like on the actual unit, on the product. So for the French baguette, right, the attribute that we're utilizing here is the upsell for slicing the baguette. So this is an item that costs $2.99 before taxes, right? And when I add the attributes then, which is the slice service, right? We go ahead and charge an extra 50 cents for that. All right. And just like with the loaf of bread and the baguette and the loaf, with the cakes, we've also done the same thing. But in this case, we are using the attribute for an upcharge on labeling the cake itself. All right. And for that, we're charging $1.50. So this gives the option of the operator when they go and ring up the item to either charge for that additional service or not charge. All right. And you'll see that reflected in 1 minute here. So we're going to switch over to the actual terminal. Let me go ahead and connect over here. So you can see how that attribute works. All right. Give me 1 second while it brings up the terminal screen, and then I'll zoom in so you can see it a little bit clearer. I'm operating an A920, which is our fully portable unit. This is a palm-sized handheld unit. So when I go to sales, right, and I go to charge, to purchase, let's say we start off with the bread. All right, we want to go ahead and purchase a French baguette. Then I have the option to add the slice service. I can not add it. You can just say cancel or submit, and then you'll have the French baguette on your shopping cart as is for $2.99. But if I go ahead and choose, let's say the French loaf, and I do choose to slice the French loaf, I want it sliced, that's going to cost me an extra 50 cents. And now you're going to see it reflected on the shopping cart as the $3.99, which is the base price, but it's got the additional 50 cents there as well. Okay. Same thing if you look at the cakes. So I can go to the cake here and charge, again, purchase the $14.99 triple chocolate cake. And then I've got the option to go ahead and add the labeling service here. Okay. I'm not sure if that's referred to as labeling, but that's when you put somebody's name on there or a message or something like that. And as you can see, it adds that $1.50 in there. So again, you can utilize this to do an upcharge. There are other ways of doing it as well with the system, but today I wanted to show you how to do that with the attribute itself. Okay. The next thing I wanted to show you was, and I'm going to switch over back to the store, is how we can sell items by weight. So in this case, we're selling chocolate chip cookies. Instead of selling the chocolate chip cookies by unit, we're selling them by ounces. And I'm charging $3.99 per ounce. Kind of pricey. So it's an expensive grocery store. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is, you can choose really any unit. It doesn't have to be a weight unit. Right now, it's labeled as sales by weight. But let's say you wanted to sell something by length. So inches or feet, whatever you like, you can change it and you get to choose which unit you put on here. So right now I've put ounces on there, but you can put, inches, feet, whatever you like, and it's still going to work the same way. All right. So so let's switch back to the terminal. Okay. Let's see here, and I'm going to go ahead and conduct a transaction by weight. So the cookies is listed under pastries. I'm going to go ahead and add cookie. As you can see, it says by ounce, right? So when I add a cookie, that asks me, the weight. What do I want? So if I choose 5 ounces, those are some expensive cookies, right? Now you're going to see it on the shopping cart as 5, and obviously it's $10 total. Okay, so it can be a little bit expensive, right? The last thing I wanted to mention on today's, in terms of the features, is regarding the gift certificates or gift cards. Okay, so our system does have the ability to utilize both in-house gift cards and also vendor-based gift cards. Okay, now for either one of those, we need to create a card bin for you, whether it's in-house or whether it's vendor-based. All right, I've got one created here. It's just simply so that we can assign a unique number that's not going to overlap with anybody else, just in case. All right. This way, there's not going to be any confusion if somebody else is using Sound POS and goes to another store that does not belong to where they have the gift card. So that's not going to be any confusion there. All right. And I've actually created one gift card here for Tom Bill. So if we go into the actual gift card, you'll see that the system generates a gift card code automatically. Okay, it places that bin in front. You see the card bin here, and then it actually creates a gift card code. Now, a couple of things you can do here. You can actually, you can actually have gift cards printed, which are not vendor-based gift cards or in-house gift cards. You can actually have those printed and ready. And what you can do is you can take this barcode, print it on a label, and then stick it onto the gift cards whenever you generate one. Okay. Once you've done that, then you're going to be able to utilize the gift card in-house. Okay. Now you need to activate or enable the ability to pay with gift cards. Okay, and you're going to see that if you go into the store itself. Okay, you go to payment method. You need to make sure that local gift card or gift card is active, whichever one you're using. In this case, I actually activated both of these. All right. So this way, it's going to be recognized whenever you utilize it on the terminal itself. All right. And again, if you do have a barcode on the gift card itself or the gift certificate, sorry about that. This does it sometimes. Let me reconnect real quick. If you do have that barcode on the gift certificate, you're going to be able to actually scan that as well. Now, I don't have a scanner attached to the A920, obviously, and this is not an A920 Pro scan, okay, which actually has a built-in scanner. So I wouldn't be able to scan one right now to show you. But that's the idea. I just want to show you what the screen looks like. I'm going to go ahead and void this transaction here. Okay. So I can go into the gift card area, which is under the customer function. And see if you have the gift card printed, then you would be able to just scan it right here. And when you go to make a payment and you choose a gift card as well, same thing, you'll be able to scan the barcode if you've got a scanner attached to the device. All right. Now, if you're going to be utilizing a vendor-based gift card, we are compatible with some very specific gift card vendors. So if you're on the Vantiv network, you can use SparkBase and ValueTech, okay? But if you're on Transit IT, you can only use ValueTech. And if you're on FDRC, you can only use ValueLink, okay? Those are the ones that are compatible with our system right now, simply because the payment application that's utilized is not part of the POS solution. It's actually part of the PAX payment terminal solution. So it's provided by PAX. And those are the actual gift card vendors that they've generated some app or payment apps for that are compatible. All right. All right. We got to mention at the beginning of the call, if you do have any questions, you can put them right here, or you can just email me. I've shared my email with everybody here, caesar.r@soundpayments.com. Okay, so that concludes the first section of the presentation, which again, we looked at attributes and how you can upsell or upcharge utilizing an attribute. We looked at how you can generate sales by weight or pretty much any unit, and then how our system does support in-house gift cards as well as gift certificates. Okay. Again, I'm just verifying here to see if I've got any questions. Don't see any questions right now. All right. So for those of you who have seen these workshops before, you know that the next section is really going to be more of my sales pitch, which I've used in the past. All right. So first, I want to talk about Sound Payments a little bit, who we are. As I mentioned earlier, we want to provide you with some valuable solutions, technology that you're going to be able to provide your customers and help them run their business in the most efficient and the most effective manner. We're located in Jacksonville, but also have a couple of different offices. We got an office in St. Pete and also have some offices abroad. All right, let's see. I've got a question here. Can we get this recording presentation tool? I apologize. Yeah, I cannot email it, but as I said before, you're going to be able to look at it on our YouTube channel. Just go to soundpayments.com. Sound Payments on YouTube, and you'll be able to see not only this workshop today, but all previous workshops. I think I started doing the workshops back in March or May, or April rather. So you should be able to catch all those workshops on our YouTube channel, Sound Payments. Okay. All right, got a second question here. Okay, you're welcome. We do work with different partners in terms of technology, but we always want to highlight we're not an ISO or gateway or processor. I know that sometimes with some POS vendors, that can be a concern, as far as taking clients away. Yeah, we do not process whatsoever. So You can rest at ease. Our hardware right now that our POS is deployed on is PAX. We have 5 different terminals, but we are looking to expand with other hardware vendors as well. Okay. Some of the features that that I like to highlight in terms of what our POS can do. First and foremost, the fact that it is cloud-based. So all the data is stored on the cloud as well as locally on the POS unit, which means that if a terminal breaks down, you're not going to lose the data or anything like that, since they're constantly updating the information to the cloud. You just replace the terminal and all the inventory and pricing and so forth should download to the terminal instantly. It's very easy to do. Okay. In terms of inventory, you're able to track inventory multiple ways: by the unit itself. You can track it by ingredients, for example, even as I said before, an attribute. So if you got, a shirt, small, medium, large, you can track those 3 sizes independently. We provide you with the ability to upload inventory through an Excel spreadsheet that both you as the reseller and the merchant have the ability to do that. So you don't have to wait for anyone on our end to do it for you, but rather we give you the tools. We even give you some sample data so you can see what that looks like in filling out that Excel template. The system also is able to restrict access by employee at a very, very detailed level. I mean, from independent functions to the whole areas of access, like sales, inventory, and things like that. The system also tracks hours, worked hours, and that can be exported in Excel, which is usually compatible with any major payroll processing software. It has the ability to track or store customer information, anything with the exception of payment information. We do not like to store any sort of payment information on the terminal. Our terminals are fully secure, but I mean, you never know. There's always new technology being developed, and we would hate for you or one of your customers to be caught in a place where credit card information is stolen. The customer's function, though, does have 2 really powerful features. One of them is the ability to provide customer credit or credit account. And this is done individually for each customer. This can be utilized for straight credit or for things like layaway. So you can charge, a $500 item to a credit account, and the customer is able to pay down that amount in any way they wish in any time. So we don't restrict how often they can pay or what payment method. As long as it's authorized for that store, they'll be able to use that payment method. And then the second feature that's built into the customer's function is the ability to have or offer a points-based loyalty program. Now, the customer or the merchant, I should say, is able to customize the ratio of how many points are generated in each purchase per dollar and how many points are necessary to make a purchase. So for example, they can generate, 1 point per dollar, but you need 1 point % to make a purchase. That would be 1 to 100, or 10 cents would generate 1 point, and then 1 point is worth 1 penny, which means again that it's a 10 to 1 ratio. So they get the choice. The merchant gets the choice to customize how much they want to leverage that points loyalty program as well. In terms of the sales tax is assigned individually per product, and there's an unlimited number of sales tax categories that the merchant can create. So, and they can have multiple sales tax rates in each category as well, and choose whether, the tax on the previous tax amount, what order they want to tax it in, and so forth. As I mentioned before, because it is cloud-based, the system is constantly synchronizing with a cloud. Now, I mentioned the advantage of being able to replace a terminal, but also you've got the advantage that if you have multiple terminals, whether they're at the same location or different locations, and they share data, such as pricing, for example, or maybe inventory, they're able to talk to each other and share that information and update once it's being changed in any one of those terminals. The system also comes with a number of reports that are available for the customer, both on the terminal and also on the web portal. Because again, since it is cloud-based, the customer has access to the data, what's going on the terminal remotely. And it's browser-based, so whether it's on a computer, on a tablet, or even a smartphone, they'll be able to access that data. As a matter of fact, I'd say that you can do almost anything on the web portal that you would do on the terminal, with the exception of running a sale and maybe a couple of more functions that you can't do on the web portal. All right. And again, the reports that you're going to find on the terminal are different than the reports you're going to find on the web portal, which again, on the web portal, these can be exported in Excel or even PDF format. Now, our POS solution is certified with all major payment processors, so it's what's known as processor agnostic. So it'll work with First Data, it'll work with TSYS, it'll work with EPX, I think is the other one, the three major ones that are here. And again, you know, the merchant is able to monitor the information in real time. As a matter of fact, our terminals can be deployed without the need of having someone physically present at the merchant's location. All the merchant needs to do, and it's very easy to do, is connect the terminal to the internet, and all of the software that's necessary to run all of the information, the payment information, you know, will be included in the VAR sheet. All of that stuff is downloaded pretty much immediately. And the other advantage too is that if there needs to be any firmware updates or anything like that, these are usually done without impacting the payment terminal functioning. All right. I wanted to show you a little bit, a couple of screenshots on here. So on the left-hand side, the two screenshots that you see on the left-hand side are for the actual POS. So the one on the top is for the portable units, and you can see that the orientation is portrait. All right, and that's why you need to, sometimes like on the sales screen, you need to switch between the actual sales menu and the shopping cart. But on the bottom, you can see on the bigger units, the countertop units, where the orientation is actually landscape. And in those, for example, when you go to the sales screen, you don't have to switch back and forth. Now on the right-hand side, these are screenshots for the web portal. And I wanted to show you what it looks like on a computer, which is the one on the top. That would be your dashboard, but also on a smartphone, which is the one on the bottom. And again, you have all functionality that you would on the computer, on your cell phone, just the same. And I also want to highlight the fact that even if you're familiar with the A920, which is a small, you know, a small handheld unit, that unit has all of the features that the larger POS units have as well. And as a matter of fact, I'd say that the A920 Pro Scan gives you the advantage of being able to go into the warehouse and update your inventory without having to bring anything up to the cash register. You can do it right there in the warehouse if you have that model, the A920 Pro Scan, which comes with a built-in laser scanner. The operating system that our POS runs on is Android. All of these units have battery. Now, the countertop units are not meant to run on battery for a long time. That's really meant for a battery backup. So if the power goes out and you're in the middle of a transaction, you don't lose that transaction. Now, mind you, our systems do not support a store and forward payments. Okay, we feel that that's too risky in terms of getting a chargeback. Let me see, I've got another question. As an ISO, can we access the terminal for maintenance? Regarding this question, as an ISO, can we access the terminal for maintenance? It depends the degree of access that your processor gives you. We work with some partners that they do give access to the ISO, and some partners that do not, because they've got the technical department and they're the ones who actually do that. So it really depends on what kind of an agreement you have with your processor. All right. Going back to the battery life, then now your portable units do have 2 hours of battery life at least, but your countertop is only limited. And again, I was talking about store and forward, which we do not support. If the power goes out, you're still going to be able to run the transaction. Everybody usually carries a cell phone on them. All they need to do is activate their mobile hotspot and then just switch. It's very easy to switch networks on these units. Just switch to the mobile hotspot Wi-Fi network, and you'll be able to finish processing the transaction. All right. For the countertop units, yeah, they do have multiple peripheral ports, so you can attach a scanner, you can attach a cash drawer. Now, mind you, all of our units support the Sound POS solution, and with our units support network printers. These are printers that are connected to whatever network device you have at the location, meaning a router or a switch. The network printers are never attached directly to the terminal. All right. So as long as the network printer has Epson or works with Epson protocols, it's going to be compatible. Okay. The Sound Connected kitchen printer, yes, it does. I was just answering that precisely. So yes, you can have multiple printers. And the one other thing that is an advantage is that our system, you choose what printer each product goes to by product. So you can choose to have maybe multiple printers, maybe one where you fix drinks. And again, it's not meant for a full service restaurant, but maybe you've got a food truck where somebody prepares the food and somebody prepares the drinks. So you can choose for each item where it's going to print in the additional printer. And of course, it prints on the built-in printers because all of these units do have a built-in printer. All right. Now you have multiple ways to connect: Wi-Fi, Ethernet on the countertop, and also these also have a SIM card slot, so they can also be connected to SIM card. And for the countertop units, and one of the portable as well, the E600, you've got dual terminal screens. So, the customer's facing one screen while the operator's facing the other. They don't have to move it around or anything like that. All right. It's very flexible in terms of what industry we work with. I would say with the food industry, the only caveat there is a full service restaurant. And the reason why, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, it does not have a reservation module. There's no way to make reservations on this system. You can use something external. It doesn't have also the dining room layout, the ability to do the layout of the dining room. And you cannot run tabs. You can hold purchases, but that's not the same thing because it doesn't validate any credit cards or anything like that. So we don't recommend it for a full service restaurant. Now, it does work in the food industry very well for quick serve or fast food, food truck and things like that. It works really well. Maybe a sub shop or a pizza shop where people order at the cash register and then go sit at a table and they pay up front. It works really, really well. It also works well with any type of storefront establishment, like an ice cream place or something like that. It works really well in the food industry. Other than that, in retail, it works great with garments, grocery stores, hardware, tires. I'm always asked about if there's a limit as far as inventory. We haven't seen that. I mean, we've got clients that have almost 30,000 different items, not total inventory. Total inventory, they may have 100,000, but I mean different items up to 30,000, and it still is able to work. All right. Let's see, we've got one more question here. Connect the kitchen printer, basically to help with inventory or adding products. I'm not sure I understand your question. Can you expand a little bit more on that question? In the meantime, we're gonna keep going over here, right? All right. So now one of the things in terms of customer and reseller support, we do have 24/7 merchant support. It comes with it. Okay. We have a website called Sound Hub, which I'm going to be reviewing during next month's call, actually. And that Sound Hub is not for the customer, but it does have some resources included in there that would work with the customer. Okay, so for example, like user guides and things like that. And again, we're going to look at that more in depth next week to help. Again, honey, and I guess this comes to your question comes regarding your first question about accessing the terminal for maintenance. It's going to depend on whether your processor allows you to or not. Yes, and let me show you real quick so you can see what that looks like. All right. So we're going to go in here to my. Okay, this is the reseller demo screen. Okay. If you have access to this screen, then you're going to have access to the actual store screen. Okay. So if I go to Fresh Bakery, and then at that point in time, you're going to be able to go into products and then you can do an import for the customer if you like. All right, we give you the templates and all that. So yes, it's all going to depend on, you know, as I said, whether your processor allows you to do that or not. Where am I? Okay, I'm over here. So it does give you access to do that, but it's all going to depend on your, whether your processor or not that gives you access. All right, we don't restrict that. Well, you know, going back to the theme about customer support and reseller support, yes, we do update the app and the firmware, and then we do have advanced level support, both for the reseller and the customer. Now, the customer is going to access the 24/7 level 1 support, but if there's something that cannot be solved there, they will automatically escalate it to the next level. Okay, and I have to say we have an extremely experienced implementation team. They've been doing this for quite a while, and they're really good at it as well. All right. So with that, my presentation comes to an end. And again, I want to thank everybody for taking their time today. I think I've got one more question here. Can we add an external scanner? Yes, for the countertop units, you can add a handheld scanner. It could be wired through a USB port, or it could also be Bluetooth enabled. Okay. Our terminals do have the capacity to do that as well. All right. And again, my name is Cesar Rivas, the National Sales Executive. If you have any further questions, again, that's my email, cesar.r@soundpayments.com. We'll be more than happy to address them. If you want to check out our website, www.soundpayments.com. And remember, all of these recordings are available on our YouTube channel, Sound Payments. All right. You're all very, very, the YouTube channel is Sound Payments, just Sound Payments as you see it here. All one word. Okay. Well, actually, I think it's two words actually. Sound Payments, and that should bring up the YouTube channel. Okay. So again, guys and ladies, thank you very much for joining me today, and hopefully we'll see you for our next session in December. Have a great rest of the day.